to say congratulations on this film. I'm so happy that this is going to get acknowledged and that people are going to see this. So I know that you were producing and acting. So how was that process? What was it like?
Well, it wasn't what I had intended. I was just going to produce it. But then Shanoya said, hey, we want you to play the grandma. I said, really? Like, okay. But it was just really great to be around because everybody, Shanoya, all the actors, everybody is really, they brought it. You know what I mean? They brought it in a way that I don't think anybody realized until you see their performances. When you see Danielle, it's like, oh my God. It's breathtaking. Yeah,
I've been seeing, just like looking all over, they were saying that, it's Oscar nominated, it's going to be that type of, energy. And
I hope so. I hope so. Because and imagine now, we have 2 black female directors that could be up for Oscars. We have 3 amazing young women who could be up. And it's just, stuff is changing inch by inch, but it's changing 2 in one time. We had 1, now we got 2.
Yes. It's that time.
Yeah.
So, with it being 2022, why do you think that Emmett Till's story is still so relevant and needs to be told?
Because we haven't been able to change people's minds about this kind of behavior. And we now need to warn people that should we continue on the path that we're on towards this idea of systemic racism staying with us, that's what we're going to be seeing. People walking in your house and taking whoever they want and, killing somebody because they don't like what they said. This is, that's the crux of it. So it puts everybody really in danger when you think about all the trans folks, all the gay folks, all the black folks, all the Asian folks, all the women. This movie affects all now. It's no longer just that story. It's a story for and that's why we all have to fight against all those people who think that behavior is okay.
I agree. So, producing, how do you feel like you were able to capture your vision working with the director? And
listen, she said what she wanted to do, and we said okay. It was that simple. Because had she come in with some weird, stuff that didn't work for us, she wouldn't have been there. But she came in and she knew what she wanted to see, and what she wanted to see is exactly what we wanted to see. So it made it very easy to say yes, and you see what she's done.
So what do you want the audience to take away tonight, and just as a whole?
I want them to think about the reason to vote. I want them to think about the reason they don't want to see this behavior anymore. That's what I want them to think about.
Last question. How, if any, change has this film impacted you in your everyday life?
Well, I'm not as cranky. Remember, we've been trying to get this done for a long time, so, and I'm not cursing people out going, how did you miss the point? How did it, I'm a lot better now.
Yes. What is something that you're hoping that people will take away from seeing this tonight?
I feel like if they didn't know the story of Emmett Till, I feel like now I hope that they know the story of Emmett Till and know that the injustice that kind of went on, and also Mamie Till's story, and also that understand that she was she kind of kickstarted the whole movement, and kind of fought for the justice of her son, and that inspired many other people to fight for the people and that. So, just the history, just the history of everything that's kind of going on.
And why do you think that it's so, important with everything going on?
Some of the themes that they're fighting for back in the day, we're still fighting for now, So even though we've had some progress to a certain extent and some changes, but the still overall picture, we're still fighting for justice. We're still fighting for people who have been murdered in broad daylight and no justice is being served. So we're still fighting for our rights and fighting for just trying to exist normally and equally like everybody else, you know. So yeah.
What do you think are like some tools that everyone had to, well, you had to pull out to, you know, achieve just making your best job in your acting?
Yeah. Just digging deep, man. Digging deep, and you know, this is a important story. It's a heartfelt story. It's a very relevant story. So yeah, man, you just gotta dig deep and pull from the soul, man, and hopefully that drives and that emulates what you're trying to put out there. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to push forward through.
In 3 words, how would you describe your character?
How would I? That's a good question. All right, cool. How would I describe my character? Focus, determined. That's the same thing. Do that again. Determined, integral, and pioneer. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, pioneer.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, congratulations on this film. Congratulations on just, you know, getting this together and producing this. So, what are some, I guess, perspective that you want people to take away tonight?
Well, the biggest thing for me is people understanding the late Mrs. Mamie Till-Mobley, to whom I call Mother Mobley. She was a great friend and mentor to me for 8.5 years. And it was very important that when we produced this film that we actually resurrected the person that I knew. And so that person that I knew was profound, prophetic in many ways, and she actually sculpted me into the person and the filmmaker that I've become. And so it's very important that when people leave the theaters and after seeing her story, it's very important to me that they understand her, because through her, I found inspiration, and I think people will be inspired if they see the spectacular performance from Danielle Deadwater.
What are some tools that you believe everyone had to pull out of their, I guess, skill set to make this, you know, film come together so well?
You know, I would have to say, and they probably wouldn't say the same thing, I think it happened organically. You know, unfortunately, in recent years, we're dealing with a lot of racial fatigue in our community. And tackling such a subject, a heavy subject like this, I know, you know, a lot of people are a little afraid to touch, and it's a little hard to even, you know, get into the motion of becoming, you know, acting and becoming these characters in this story. But, you know, we had a therapist on set. Everybody was good-hearted, and, you know, and everybody came in to work on this project, you know, in the right way. Everybody was inspired to do something great with this film so it could reach the masses.
On this film, how are you feeling tonight?
I am feeling amazing. I'm so ecstatic for everyone to see the film and connect with the film, because this has been a treasure for us to recreate and produce for the world to see and for the world to learn. And now that that day is finally upon us, I'm feeling the best of feelings.
Yes. How was it just preparing for this role and like embodying all that Emmett Till?
Right, that was something that was so important to me. Showing his humanity and showing the caring, lighthearted, curious kid that he was, because you don't see that. You learn about it, you read about it, but it's a different sort of essence when you can see it and actually feel it coming from a production like this. So the preparation was just deep diving into who he was and bringing that to life through me, which was natural because I see a lot of myself in Emmett, and I feel like other kids might see themselves in Emmett, and that only connects you further to the story.
It's so true. So what do you want people to just take away from this film and everything?
Yes, I want people to be educated. Of course, that's one of the most important things, is because we think we know, but we don't. You can never really know the entirety, but this project, you get to see the relationship between Mamie and Emmett, and then you get to see what Mamie did, all the trials and tribulations, all the factors, all the people who were there along the way with her to further create change in honor of her son and in honor of our community. the business of one of us better be the business of us all. That's paraphrasing, but that is something that she said, and it's the truth.
Well, congratulations on this film. I am so excited for people to see this
thanks,
and really
man.
connect with it.
Yeah.
So what was it like for you, just, preparing for this role and pulling out different skills to make everything happen?
Well, I think like most people, I thought I knew the story, right? Because I'd always heard about it. We studied it in school, in high school, junior high, even aspects of college. So I thought I knew the story. So when I got the script, it was obvious I didn't know the story. You know what I mean? And I think that's most people, right? We think we know it. So it was important for me to be a part of something that was historical, that gives an entirety to the story, because you typically had documentaries, short films, lots of books. There's tons of books out there, right? So I wanted to be a part of something that was willing to tell the truth in its entirety, and something that will live on as a testament of Mamie Till and her son's efforts for justice, particularly Mamie Till's efforts for justice. And so it was just wanting to be a part of something historical, because sometimes you don't really get the chance to do that. You do a lot of fiction, you don't get to do a lot of nonfiction that's accurate and historical. So that was part of it for me.
So what do you, in 2022, right, why do you think that this story is so relevant, and what do you think that people can take away from this new perspective? Being that you said you've learned some things from acting.
Well, it's still going on, right? We're still, black bodies are still being brutalized, killed. And I think it's relevant because it is about a mother and a son. And as I said, I think it will allow other mothers and just other people out there to be courageous in the pursuit of justice. Because listen, Mamie Till could have said, "All right, I'm not gonna show pictures of my son to the world," but she didn't. She decided to do that. So it would have been a footnote in history, is what I'm saying, without her effort to pursue justice. So I think it will be an example to others on the outside to pursue justice and to get them right on this whole story, so that they fully understand it.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much, and I can't wait for everybody to see this. I can't wait. I just want to say, how do you, what does it mean to embody this character?
It means everything. It's a history that I've known all my life. And I'm from Atlanta, and it's a deep connection to civil rights, and this is the biggest thing for me right now.
You have a good show.